made you stay for the fourth quarter, huh? Obviously disappointed in the second half with the offense. You know, not scoring a point is hard to imagine. Defense did stop in the fourth quarter there on the last series. Obviously that was an issue we've addressed all offseason. And we're torn to come up with the big play there, something that didn't happen last year, and we would lose those games at the end. So pleased with the quarterback, you know, to go 34, 45 with 8 drops. You know, he's staring at 80, 85, 90% in the game. And obviously Robert Woods breaking the school record with 17 catches. Should be 18, but Tim took away his 2-yard zombie there, bubble screen. So it's 17 for 177. So 3 touchdowns in the first half. Obviously would have liked to come out the second half the same way. And all of a sudden got some negative situations, you know, with some penalties. On the bright note, no sacks and no interceptions, so some good things. But obviously we got a lot of work to do. We are 1-0, and we're going to have to play much better to win some conference games.
Lane, you had two-point conversions to begin the game. Did you know that was what you wanted to do, or is it just a situational thing?
It's a special team situation that they line up in a certain look, and we try to take an advantage play. Get up 8-0 at that point if it's there. And we called it. We didn't block the middle linebacker in the set, and so the guy made the play, stopped us 6 inches short. So all those times when we're shifting out, we're looking at certain things, and if they give it to us, we take it. And then obviously not making that, you know, then you got to go for it again your next time. And Dylan was open, probably one of Matt's only bad throws of the day.
Can you talk about what your thinking was with only having McNeil and Morgan in the first half?
Yeah, really just, you know, Dylan had some stuff in the package and it just didn't present itself in certain down and distances. We had stayed out of a lot of third and longs and had some third and shorts, and so he does a lot of stuff on third down for us. So there's nothing against Dylan, it was just the way the game was going. We weren't running the ball very much anyway. You know, we were throwing the ball, and so it didn't matter that much.
As difficult as it was to scout this team with a new coaching staff, do you have any inclination Matt and Robert Woods could have this type of chemistry in the opener?
Yeah, I think we felt we did. You know, we talked about it last night in the meetings, and you know, told Robert what the record was. You know, it's time to break it. Been there for a long time. Johnny Moore, 15 catches. So interesting that he did it in the opener, and so yeah, I guess we did think it was going to happen.
Did you think if you had 34 completions and 17 receptions that you'd only have 19 points?
No, that's what's really confusing about this. You know, you look at these things and you don't, outside of the bad snap, you don't turn the ball over all day, you give up no sacks, you know, quarterbacks, you know, throws for 304, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Usually the game's not looking like this, and so we just didn't master some situations. And in the second half on third down, we were 3 of 9, and then we didn't make 2 fourth downs. So that gives them a lot of series there that we could have kept them off the field and really could have started to spread the game out and make it like it used to be.
Were you disappointed in the running game, Mike?
Pardon?
Were you disappointed in the running game?
Well, I think in overall, the 37-yard snap, you know, is going to come off there, so those stats are going to look different than they really were. The running game was just okay, but it did come to life a little bit there late when we needed it. You know, Curtis's run down the sideline there, and you know, unfortunately, they did some looks that they tried to stop the run all day, and especially in short yardage, and so forced us to check out of some things to try to beat them in the passing game. You know, and then there on the last one we drop it. So I thought it was just okay. You know, but then again, you know, you got 4 guys playing offensive line that played every snap today at a position they've never played in real college football. So could have been worse. No sacks.
Was that one of the reasons you had kind of the style of the offense that you did to take the pressure off the offensive line? And do you think that will change as the season goes on?
I would like it to change. It's not really fun to play the game that way, you know, so spread out and balls going all over the place, and it just gets you out of rhythm. You know, it's not the normal SC rhythm of running the ball and play action, but it was just, you know, we just didn't want this quarterback getting hit on a bunch of deep play action stuff and drop back passes, even though that's what they give you with the way they play defense. It was too important to keep them upright today, and for the most part we did.
Do you think you could beat Utah playing the way you did today?
No.
Were you doing the math on the sidelines at the end, thinking about field goal and the extra points that you hadn't gotten earlier? Were you?
No, because you can't. I don't worry about things you can't control. So at that point, you can't go back and change the decision. You know, I was worried about what plays we were going to call in the 4-minute situation. If they went down and scored, what we were going to call in the 2-minute situation. And if we did stop them, what was on the clock, whether we could take a knee or head run a play.
Was it hard coming up with like a consistent plan B after throwing to Robert, something that you could count on during the course of the game?
Well, I think you do get a little out of rhythm because he's playing so well. The last thing you want to do, when it's a tailback, you just turn around and hand him the ball. It's harder to get him the ball, and then he obviously wears down at some point. And so you got to give him a play off or two off, and it changes your rhythm a little bit. And so at one point we were trying too hard to get him the ball, but at the same time it was working. I mean, he was effective out there.
Lane, where has Robert made the biggest strides this season from last?
Where he can line up, mastering all the positions. And so as you see out there, he's changing to all the different positions as the game goes. It's the only way you can catch 17, really 18 balls is if you can line up in a bunch of different spots, or else you can take him away. In the second half, they did try to take him away, and you saw him getting clouded out there. And so then we had to keep moving him around.
Kennard and Nick Perry got most of the attention during fall camp, but Juicy had a big game today. Can you talk about his improvement?
Yeah, I think Dijon, really was one of those guys that sometimes come into their last year and it all comes together for him. And so hopefully he'll continue to develop and make some plays for us.
This 20-yard run, or the 2nd and 20 situation, was that something that you just saw before you made the call on the way they were playing?
Yeah, they were going to cover 2 there and playing real soft to try to stop Robert, figuring we were going to throw it to Robert. So there was another one earlier that he slips on, same coverage, cover 2, that was a draw play that would have been big too. At the same time, for the game being as bad as it was, you're really close in some instances, where to break some big plays and just little things went wrong. So. Yeah,
Lane, what would be so bad about just taking the extra points at the beginning of the game, just getting 7 points and getting out of there?
Yeah, I know. I agree. Baxter's in there. You can ask him. No, really, it's just an advantage. We get in certain. Last year we were 50%. The league actually, I think, was 53% in 2-point conversions. If you get in a certain look that you have an advantage, it's worth it at that time. To go up 2, and you'd like to think at SC with our players we'd be able to design some plays that we could get. If we go for it twice, we certainly would get one of them. To at least catch back up to 14.
How much of an impact did Willie Matt Garza's absence affect you guys today, and who kind of took over his responsibilities?
Well, Monty and Sammy really just kind of grouped up and ran the meetings, and it seemed like it worked okay, as far as communication process today. And Sammy knows our stuff pretty well, and we played pretty well back there for the most part. So,
Any good for how the linebackers played?
Yeah, they seem to play good. Simmons had a missed tackle early. Deion Bailey had to force fumble. We weren't able to get back. Would have been some momentum at that time. So I think they played pretty well. Defense in general seemed like they did all right. I was, focused on that debacle on offense today.
Do you think he'll hire a secondary coach during the season?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get us to catch the ball right now. So I'll worry about that later today.
How big a play was Torrance play? How big?
Huge. Torrance's play was huge. We know last year all the stats at 4th quarter and them going right down the field, and here we go again. I'm sure you guys had that feeling, and so it was good for someone to step up and make a play in that situation. Where last year we lost those games right there at the end.
Did you have that feeling as it was unfolding?
Nope, not at all. Had great confidence we were going to stop them. Felt like we had improved there, but I would never think any different than that anyway.
One more for Lane.
How much of it is a head scratcher when you do throw for a record to a kid and your quarterback throws for over 300 yards and you call it a debacle offensively?
Because just the rhythm of it, and really, the bottom line is to score points. All these stats and first downs and all these things and records. The bottom line is to put the ball in the end zone. And you play a team that you think you should be scoring a lot of points on. No disrespect to them, but we think anybody we should. And obviously last year, they weren't real good on defense, and you don't score a point in the whole second half. I never would have thought that would happen. I'd be sitting here explaining that.
Thank you.